Hey, what's going on? You know who it is. You know what it is. All right, you guys, peep game. As I said before, man, now that everybody they put their videos out, the dust is starting to settle. Like I said, man, this thing with HBO comes to no surprise to me because I warned you guys. I told you this was coming. I told you that HBO looked like they had lost their knack and their luster to carry boxing. And basically it looked like it just was backfiring on them because HBO, they did this to themselves. HBO couldn't put their hatred and their, borderline racism to the side and do what's right and try to get behind, these good black and Hispanic fighters. They was caught up in some other bullshit and now it backfired on them. They were spending so much time trying to pump these overrated Eastern European fighters till they forgot about the overall scheme, which was to produce great fighters and great fights. And they missed their mark by wide margin. They put too much emphasis on Triple G. Just too much. It just got to the point with Triple G to where the shit was just absurd. And then they were really trying to force feed this guy on us. They were really trying to force feed Triple G on us. And then when it didn't work, then, now look what didn't happen. HBO had no use for Triple G anymore because he lost the fight. Their whole system around Triple G was predicated off him never losing a fight. And now they pretty much, and I knew they was going to turn their back on Triple G. Just like they came out of nowhere trying to tell us that this Chocolate Tito dude was the best fighter on the planet. And I kept saying why. And HBO was like, because we say so. Now, fuck that. You got to do better than that. But that's what they had. And then look what happened to Chocolate Tito. Chocolate Tito ended up getting his ass stretched. So, HBO was losing a grip right then and there. And like I said, to a certain degree, it all comes down to Floyd. Whether people like it or not. They had Floyd, and then they tried to treat Floyd like he was a stepchild, and Floyd bounced on their ass, went to Showtime, made a shitload of money, and then HBO, the funny part about it is, HBO got this vendetta against Floyd, like, they shocked Floyd did that. What the fuck was Floyd supposed to do? You don't value me, so I'm gonna go somewhere where I am valued. For real. It's sort of like, man, it's like this, man. Like that song, The Clean Up Woman. That's basically what Betty Wright was talking about. If your woman ain't treating you right, she gonna come clean up the situation. And that's what Showtime did with Floyd. What was he supposed to do? He would have been stupid to stay at a network that didn't appreciate him. And then another thing, Floyd is their cash cow, but yet they treating him like he's just a nobody. Because one, they shouldn't have been letting Jim Lampley and Larry Merchant be allowed to disrespect him the way they was doing. I mean, they would blatantly show their hatred and their contempt towards Floyd Mayweather, which I thought was absurd. I was like, wow. And then they would show it towards black fighters in general. Look, nobody is buying Jim Lampley's. Oh my God, I just was so upset when Muhammad Ali passed away. Bruh. Jim, we know what you are, bruh. We know what you are, dude. And we know what Larry Merchant was. At least Larry Merchant didn't even try to hide the shit. We already knew Larry Merchant was a racist. We knew Larry Merchant was a racist. People would try to, cape for Jim Lampley. They'd try to say, well, Jim Lampley is not a racist because he said he could. Man, like, how do you know? How the fuck you know? Was you there? No. Just because you guys say something about somebody don't mean that whatever you say is the gospel. You got the game fucked up. You really do. You really do, homie. If you believe that shit. You really believe that shit. That just because you say something is not true or true is the gospel. Man, get the fuck out of here, bruh. Get out of here with that bullshit. And like I said before, man, this is what happens, man, when you treat people like shit. You know? Left their asses high and dry, and now they got some kind of problem with it. They had a personal vendetta and shit. But if HBO had been putting stock in some of these good Hispanic and black fighters, instead of, like I said, going on the we love Eastern European fighters, then they wouldn't be in the situation that they in. So once again, they brought this on themselves. I mean, fact is fact. You know, I was just, and like I said, I was one of them dudes, I was very vocal. I was one of the dudes that flat out said it. Hey, man, I think Jim Lampley and Larry Merchant are racist. I think they are clearly racist. And HBO was showing their racist hands towards black fighters, how they would act towards these black fighters. They were revealing themselves. So you was kind of like, okay, I see what time it is with these motherfuckers, man. Real talk. I'm keeping it thorough, man. Motherfuckers just don't want to hear the truth, man, about HBO. You know, hate brothers overwhelmingly. So now, HBO is done. They talked about they may look into bringing, you know, programs in the future. No, they not. No, they not. They had, and once again, they had a chance to work with Al Heyman, but they had so much hatred and disdain towards Al Heyman to where they refused to work with Al Heyman. They could have signed quite a few of those PBC fighters. They could have worked with the PBC, but they didn't want to. If Showtime passed them up, then that's on them. Showtime was willing to spend the money. Just like now, they're willing to spend the money. In most cases, you go where the money is. And HBO wasn't writing no checks. You know, they didn't want to write no checks. And it kind of makes you wonder what's going on with everybody else. Like I said, I kind of knew when Triple G lost, and I told you that HBO was going to turn their back on Triple G, just like they did Chocolatito. HBO was hot garbage. They was garbage. It was garbage. It was trash. The broadcasting was shameful at times. Like I said, Jim Lampley had one of the most shameful broadcasts I ever seen when that Manny Pacquiao and Joshua Clottey fight happened. Jim Lampley should have been fired for doing them sound effects and whatnot to that fight that most people thought, you know, was fixed anyway. Most people thought the fucking fight was fixed, man. Let's just keep it funky, man. A lot of people say, man, that fight was fixed, man. You had the opportunity, like I said, and you passed on it. You let Showtime pass you up, pass you by, because they wanted boxing. And I'm going to tell you right now, I expect HBO to lose a lot of subscriptions over the next couple of days. Maybe tens of thousands. Maybe millions. They have what was the last number? 20 million subscribers, if I'm not mistaken. Well, that may be reduced to 15 in the next couple of weeks. Okay? It really may be reduced. I mean, how could they? I mean, for real. I'm just looking at what happened over the years. You just look at what HBO was doing. They did not seem interested in having any fighters on there that was black, pretty much. Every once in a while. They had Demetrius Andrade on there because he wasn't an Al Heyman fighter. Daniel Jacobs is signed to Eddie Hearn's promotional company, Matchroom. But anybody that was like a PBC fighter, HBO wasn't fucking with him. I mean, just look. And then, like I said, Jim Lampley would blatantly show his racism because he would always rip Al Heyman. And then they also showed how childish they was and unprofessional they was when Jim Lampley celebrated his 30th anniversary on HBO, and they did not have one highlight reel of Floyd Mayweather on there. Really? Really? So, as I said before, I expected this to happen. Now what HBO do now is just beyond me, because HBO may start losing, their license to show movies, because keep in mind their contract with 20th Century Fox is up in like 3 years. And 20th Century Fox, due to the fact that they got bought by Disney, they may end up on Stars and shit. So HBO got a lot of decision making to do. Like I said, they fucked up. They fucked up, man. Big time. But anyway, man, that's all I got to say about that, man. Thanks for listening. Let me know what you guys think, man. I'm out.